and tick and see if it's 40 seconds delay or whatever they got tonight. So we'll just clock on along and see what happens here. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. That's 15 seconds since I started. So we just keep on rolling along. I need like the Jeopardy music. Okay, here comes the screen at 25 seconds. And there we go. And we got a nutrient survival ad again. What do you know? All right, so let's see if I can get rid of that. Skip, and I can see me. All right, Vicky Clark. Here we go. Fastball. Happy Trails. 7 Customs. Adam Hoffman. Michelle Law. D Wood. Andy. All right, there's a bunch of 5x5s. Cool. You guys can see me. Happy Tuesday night. For me, it is a very happy Tuesday night. About an hour and a half ago, I got some very, very, very good news, personal news for me. Blood test results. And I kind of wanted to explain this to you guys here because everybody asks me how the diet's going all the time. So last Friday, I had my appointment with the VA, of course, to go get my blood drawn for the diet. Now, you remember when I started Carnivore, it was right after my February appointment, or end of January. I think it was January 29th or 31st, something like that. I got all my results on like the 3rd. And I got my blood test results, and I was weighing 309 pounds. And I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Well, you guys keep asking me where I was. When I weighed in on Saturday, I was at 289 even. So I've lost exactly 20 pounds, which everybody will say, well, gee, that's not much for 2.5 months. But you got to think about this. It's not like I'm some huge obese guy or something. Do I have a gut that I got to lose? Yes. Okay. But, you know, it's not like I'm 600 pounds or something. But the more important part was my health. And you guys know that I've told you before, I've been on blood pressure medicine for years, probably 10. Okay, that's hereditary. And about 2 years ago, the docs put me on statins for my cholesterol because my cholesterol had gone up. Well, about a month ago, I stopped taking my cholesterol meds. I'm still taking my BP meds. Okay, I'm still trying to get that. I haven't got that down to 120 over 80 yet. So, with the meds, so I'm still taking those. So I had my test results come in today, and so I pulled my February results and my last Friday results. So about 80 days into into Carnivore. I want to read to you what the change is. Okay, my overall cholesterol went from 180 on meds to 175 off meds. Start there. This was the huge one. My triglycerides were at 71. Now, granted, that's still well within the normal range, okay? But my triglycerides were at 71 at the end of January. You're at 47 on Friday. The range on triglycerides that's considered healthy is 25 to 149. Your triglycerides are the number one thing that cause heart attacks. And I got a history of that in my family. That was great news. My good cholesterol went up from 53 to 55. That range is 40 to 59, so I'm at the top of the range for good cholesterol. My LDL, my bad cholesterol, is still high. However, it went from 136 in January to 115 last Friday. I'll take better. Was it 21 point drop? I'll take that. Okay. My glucose went from 113, which was high, to 95, which is now in the normal range. The rest of the stuff, my urea, my sodium, my potassium, my chloride, my CO2, roughly stayed the same. I mean, give up a point or two here and there. Anybody that wants to tell me that Carnivore doesn't work is full of squat. Just saying, okay? So for those of you guys that decided to take this journey with me, when you get your blood test results, you may be shocked. I'm pretty damn happy, okay? I haven't lost the weight that I expected. I've lost 20 pounds. I'm good so far. I got 40 to go. But, okay, I've lost a third of what I want to lose. I guess that's not bad. But my overall health, measured by my blood test, is better. That's a good thing. And that's how I wanted to start tonight out, because every once in a while we need some good news. And for me, that was some freaking good news. So, all right, let us do the fun stuff. As you guys know, we are giving away a Opus Exodus 600 tonight, little generator that I showed you guys yesterday. Now, like I said, this isn't any monster generator you're going to run anything, but it's good for running those little things. And as I said, great for keeping my security system going. Okay, it just sits there and runs, and fine. Power goes out, it runs. So I got security. Point of being, on sale. What was it? $139 or something like that. I think it got down to. If this fits you, hey, go for it. If it doesn't, ignore it. Like everything else I talk about, I say it all the time. Take what's important, leave the rest. And I can tell that you guys do that by the views on videos. Some videos get 30,000 views. Some videos get 13,000 views. Why? Because some topics may be of interest to more people than others. I get it. It's like, and people are like, oh my God, my views are down. It's like, who cares? Okay. If the topic's important to one person, then it was worthwhile making the video as far as I'm concerned. So let's get into this drawing here, and I will explain, as usual, how this all works. We'll do this on the random comment picker, like I always do. Okay. The name I draw, in order to be a valid entry, must have listed on yesterday's video the state in which they live in, the lower 48, and their favorite breed of dog. Okay. Somebody put mutts, and I'll take that. Okay. That's good enough for me. I've owned mutts in my life, and they're good dogs. Dogs are dogs. Okay. And you know me, I'm a dog lover. The name I draw, provided it is a valid entry, will have 3 minutes to reply that they are here. I pray to God by now you guys have all figured out how to make sure that the name that you show in comments is the same as you show in chat. Okay. Because I'm not going to start writing down. As usual, the one thing that I will require, and the mods all know this, and you guys should all know it by now too, when I say no more comments, and all the mods put up there in capital letters, do not comment, do not comment, do not comment, that literally means shut up. Okay? The reason, real simple, is I don't want to be racing through comments trying to, you guys know what the chat room looks like. It's like a damn slot machine running through there. Okay? The person whose name's called is the only person that needs to comment. All they got to do is say, I'm here. Okay, that's it. But it just makes it a hell of a lot easier for me to see the name, to make sure we know that person's here. You wouldn't want anybody to screw up your chances of winning. Please don't do it for anybody else. If you are one of the people who still, after 6 or 8 months that I've been saying this, still insists on making a comment after the mods tell you not to, and I tell you not to, you will get to spend the next 7 days in timeout from the channel. It's as simple as that, okay? I'm sorry if it sounds harsh, but follow instruction. It's not that difficult, okay? You can be quiet for a minute and a half. So, with that all being said, let me flip this over, and we will get into this. Maybe. Flip. There we go. All right. YouTube random comment picker. There is the link from yesterday's video. And we will go fetch, and let's see how many comments we had yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to do the other part first. Nope, we don't include replies. You guys know that. Primary comments only. We do not allow duplicates. Everybody gets 1 entry. And we go continue, and now we can see how many comments we have. And good, it's moving full speed without pauses in it again. Now, let's see. Last time we did this, we had more people in the live stream than we had entries, so we'll see what we get this time. This time we're going to have more entries. Okay. All right, what do we have? 2,543 entries. Okay, we have 2,209 people here. So, at this point, guys, do not make any comments. Mods, put it up. All right, there's Jacob saying it. There's Motimer, there's Prep Rebel, there's Bass Ackwards, there's Cat Lady. Okay, there's Robert and Ashley. All right, I think that's everybody. So, hopefully you guys got it right now. That's what, 7 of them, 6 of them, and me. All right, so let's see who we got. Picking a winner, we have Nancy Tozier, 4379. I live in Maine. Shelter dogs are my passion. I'm sorry, Nancy. Shelter dogs is not a breed of dog, so that's not going to fly. I can't take that one. Sorry, I said breed of dog. Shelter dog is not a breed of dog. Pick a winner. Unprovoked Moose Attack. Hello from Pennsylvania, Pinball. Thanks for all you do. Mixed breed labs are my favorite pups. That is a valid entry. So, let's see. Flip everything over. Unprovoked Moose Attack. Are you here? Gotta love the names you guys come up with. All right, so looking. Unprovoked Moose Attack is here. Congratulations. You are the new proud owner of a Opus Exodus 600. What I will need you to do tonight is to email me your name, your physical mailing address. Got to be physical, can't be a P.O. box, and phone number. And I will get those over to the gang at Opus, and they will get that out to you ASAP. So, all right. So, congratulations, Unprovoked Moose Attack. I got to say, that's one of the better names I've seen in a long time. I like that. All right. Let me get this computer moved. Let's get my stand moved back so I can get the camera in the right spot so I can see the computer. And get this set up. And, okay. All right. So, now I can see what's going on. All right. Let's get into Q&A. And as per normal, guys, if you got questions for me, please put them in all caps. Just makes life a whole lot easier for me to find what's directed at me because I skip over the stuff in lowercase. But I wholeheartedly encourage you guys to have conversations amongst yourselves. Just please do those in lowercase letters. It makes it easier, keeps the live stream flowing a lot better as is. All right. The only thing I do require, and you guys should all know this by now as well, please be on your PG-13 behavior. Being rude, being obnoxious, being a smartass, okay, not tolerated. I don't care if there's the joke, but when you sit there and decide that you're going to call somebody an idiot or berate somebody, either in the chat room or me, you don't come back, okay? It's not like this isn't a 7-day thing. You're just gone. I haven't heard much from the mods lately about having to toss anybody, so I get the feeling people, the troublemakers have pretty much figured out they're not welcome, so that's a good thing. So the whole point is we're here for fellowship, camaraderie, to learn something, either from me or from each other, and enjoy an hour on a Tuesday night. So let's go there. Okay, let us get to the top here. I see a whole boatload of congratulations, so we're going to be doing it after that. So let's see. Oh, I had to stop because Prep Rebel did make a smart-ass comment that I've got to address. Okay, he said he planted a ceremonial okra for me. I will give you this, Prep Rebel. Okra is the only thing that is positive for use for Roundup. Okay, other than that, don't use Roundup anywhere. But if you see okra, that's where you use Roundup. Okay, best fertilizer for okra you can get. Just saying. Okay, now back to reality. Laura Story, Pinball, what is my favorite apple tree and have I processed any fruit from it? I like the most boring apples there are, okay? I like Red Delicious apples, which everybody says, gee, that's a boring apple. And I like Granny Smith apples. That's it, okay? PBJ, she loves pink lady apples. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I don't like those. I don't like Macintosh apples. I don't like those soft apples. I want a crisp apple. Okay, that's why I like what I like. It is what it is. Mrs. P and I did plant a Red Delicious and a Granny Smith tree 2 years ago, honey. Yep, 2 years ago. We have not got any apples off of it yet. The trees are now probably 8 or 9 feet high. They're taller than me. Maybe they're 10 feet high. We're hoping this will be the first year we get apples off of them. So there were no fruit trees on our property when we moved here. So we planted a peach and a pear the first year we were here. So those trees will be 5 years old this year. The 2 of the plums will be 4 years old this year. The apples and the cherry and the other plum are 2 years old this year. And then we may put a couple. I know we're putting another cherry tree in, and we were looking the other day thinking, okay, do we put an apricot and a nectarine tree in? As I told her, I got no problem planting trees. It's just more I got to mow around. That's all it is. But Jay Myers, love my hat, Trump 2024. Yeah, I've had this hat now for well over a year. I don't remember where I got it. I saw some ad or somewhere. I was like, oh, cool, I got a hat. I got the flag too. This is a while. This was sometime, if not 2022, 2023. And I was going through one of the closets and I'm like, holy crap, I forgot I had that hat. So yeah, there we go. All right. Claude Camardo. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. My off-grid property is being destroyed by mice, camper and generator. What can I do? Don't kill the snakes around. That's for sure. I mean, I was out in my yard, Thursday night, I think it was, out inside here, and here goes a black racer. And I'm like, hey, stick around, stay by the house. That's good for me. Kill the mice, if there's any mice around. It's hard when I'm assuming by off-grid property, what you're meaning is someplace that you don't go to often. So I would say, a barn cat or something, but if you're only there every other weekend or something like that, the cat's going to die of starvation. So that doesn't work. So, I mean, at this point, your only option is a lot of mouse traps or a lot of mouse poison. And if you can find...
What do you use for your trap to spray inside?
Mrs. P just brought up a good point. I didn't even think about this one. I had the problem a couple of years ago with squirrels or chipmunks or mice or something getting up in the engine compartment of my truck. And twice they chewed out the wire to one of the fuel injectors. And of course, then I'm running on 7 cylinders. And I get that fixed. It was $100 and some odd each time. Thanks a lot, And I asked the mechanic what to spray. He said peppermint oil. So there would be an idea, spray the, I'm guessing like the underside, maybe, if you got like a crawl space under there, because that's where they like to stay, is underneath, where they can make beds in straw or anything like that. Spray areas where it's mouse friendly with peppermint oil. That might keep them away. But other than that, get yourself some box traps or something like that. But yeah, I mean, get rid of it, because like you said, your generator, your camper, whatever it is, they'll start chewing through the wires, and then that gets expensive. But thank you, honey. That was a brilliant thought. Thumbs up from Mrs. P. See, I don't have all the answers, but somebody's got them. Okay. Juju Mama, way to go, pinball, and the weight loss. I keep hitting these plateaus. I go down 5 pounds and I get stuck for a month, so we'll see what it is. So, but yeah, hey, I'm down. The blood work's good. Progress is a good thing. Master Blaster, pinball, please tell me why someone would pay $7 for one apple. I saw that video the other day, and apparently that video went viral. And the first thing I thought when I saw that was, this woman's an idiot, okay? Because she goes in, makes this TikTok video or Instagram or wherever she posted it, Can you believe this apple is $7? Blah, 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 blah. I asked the cashier, and the cashier said, yup, that's right, $7 for that apple. But did you notice where she was making that video? I mean, where she was physically. I'm not talking about what state or something like that. She was standing outside the store. So that means after finding out the apple was $7, she still bought it. Right? No. Hey, the cashier tells me the apple's $7. I'm like, put it back. Ain't no way in the world that I'm paying $7 for an apple. So, there's a lot of these videos that you see that and you guys all know this too. There's a ton of them that are made for clicks. Oh my God, this is absolutely crazy. Something like this would go on. And then you look at it and you go, how convenient is it that you happen to be there with the camera filming when that happened? There's so many of these things that are staged. It's unbelievable. Use a discretionary eye when you watch some of these videos and go, that's not going to happen. There was a video somebody put out the other day saying, oh, the Loch Ness Monster was seen again. Okay, we all know those are frauds. Okay. But, somebody put it out and got some 100,000 views on it because there's enough people that want to believe it. So, yeah, but yes. Captain Trips, how is the pond coming along? Okay, so this was one of the projects Monday. Put in a channel drain as opposed to my fire hose over the driveway so we put a 8-foot channel drain, which 8 feet long, 4 inches deep, 6 inches wide, 6 inches wide. So that should get me, if that channel was full, something like 3 1/3 cubic feet of water at one point, where the old 12 by 12 by 12 box I had was 1 cubic foot of water running down a 4-foot pipe. So hopefully that will help me increase my water that I catch coming down the driveway, because even with my pipe, because there's stamped concrete up there, you'd still see water going under the pipe. If it rained too hard, my hose, the fire hose, if it rained too hard, it'd go over the top of the hose because the box couldn't handle it. Or if it rained really hard, the pressure was so much it was moving a fire hose full of sand. Okay. And the downside is I don't have to run up and down the driveway all the time, putting it in, taking it, putting it out, taking it back in, back and forth and everything like that, because, it's going to rain, put it out. Oh, it rained in the middle of the night and I didn't know it. I missed catching all water. Now there's a freaking drain in there. So anything that comes down goes into the drain, goes into the pond, and hopefully that will help. Now, in regards to the fish, Mrs. P was out feeding the fish a few days ago or whatever it is. I was out doing something in the yard and I walked over, and she sees the fish all the time because, the fish are trained. They know somebody's coming to feed them and they're there to eat. And so we looked at the fish. Bluegill, 6 to 8 inches long in there. I'll be fishing in my pond by fall, okay? I'm not going to do it now because I want to make sure that they get a chance to spawn, because it's the whole point, okay? Have a water source, have a food source. But yes, I want fish, and everybody's like, oh, what do we do with fish? Now, that, everybody asks, what kind of fish do I have in there? I got bluegill in there. I love bluegill, okay? If you've never fried up a mess of bluegill, you do not know what you're missing. Okay? And if you never caught bluegill, I know everybody goes, oh, it's a kid's fish to catch. Fine. Go catch some bluegill. They are fun as hell to catch. You're not working your ass off casting and reeling. I like to bass fish too, don't get me wrong. But bluegill fishing's throw a pole out there, watch the bobber. That's it. You have a conversation, do whatever. Don't worry about it. Bobber goes down, you pull the fish in. Okay. But they fight like hell, and they're a lot of fun to catch. But they're great. So fry up a mess of bluegill. We're going to smoke some, so we'll have some smoked fish. And then, I think I've told you before, Mrs. P loves to salt them and dry them. Very Russian, have dried fish. And so we did it a few years ago with some of the fish I caught, and dried them out in the dehydrator. They're good. So, yeah, I know. But there's another way to learn how to preserve stuff, guys. Okay. Go catch some fish, cover it with a bunch of salt, stick it in your dehydrator, dry it, obviously gut it first, dry the fish out, and then you're just chewing it. It's like fish jerky. You're eating it right off the bone. Essential Tam 33. Can I put up the Amazon code for the 600? I would if she'd send it to me. She told me there is one, and she hasn't sent it to me yet. So I'm still hounding her to give me the code. So, yeah. I mean, $5 is $5. I mean, hey, in a lot of places, that's a gallon of gas. It's a loaf of bread. I mean, stupid. Mrs. P and I had to go to the grocery store today, right? $138 even. $138 for groceries. I was able to carry it all in the house in one hand. Yeah. Remember not too long ago, like during this guy's presidency, when $138 to get you pretty much a full cart full of groceries? No. Now it gets you one of those little baskets. Joseph Cook, do I have any experience using the laser target practice systems? Thinking of trying one. Obviously, no, because I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. So yeah, sounds kind of cool though. If you got, I'm gonna guess, but I mean, if you've got a laser on your handgun or your rifle or something like that, you can shoot with that. Practice without ammo. It's a good idea. So at least teach you some, trigger pull. It's like, okay, I'm pulling low left. Get your breathing right, that sort of stuff. Eric Billings 7335, is the EcoFlow expandable battery compatible with either the Opus or Blue Eddy generators? No, none of them are. Nobody's battery that I know of is compatible with anybody else's. It's not because one lithium battery is not, lithium iron phosphate battery is not compatible with another one. It's because of each one of the companies uses a proprietary plug to connect from the battery to the generator, and they're all different. I mean, some of them are horizontal bars, some of them are octagons, none of them are the same. So no, you can't buy a Blue Eddy generator and hook an EcoFlow battery to it without, I mean, you probably could if you had somebody that could reconfigure, cut apart these cables and connect them together right, everything. But I mean, obviously you're avoiding warranties all over the place. No, I mean, if you're building a power system and you decided to go with Opus or Anchor or Mango or EcoFlow or Blue Eddy or whatever, stick to the one and build upon it, the one system you have. If you don't like the system you have or it doesn't meet your needs, that's what eBay's for. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Just as I was going to read something, it shot to the bottom. A lot of stuff. Okay. Let's see. Go as far as I can. Lady Mary Ann, can we do a compost bin using slugs and snails instead of usual worms? I don't like to kill them. Thank you. I would not suggest it. Okay. I mean, sure, anything that goes in there is going to help decompose the, it's going to eat whatever's in there. I get that. Okay. The problem is you certainly don't, when you're putting your compost into your gardens, into your flower pots, whatever it is, the last thing you want to be doing is introducing let's try that again. Snails and slugs into your garden, because you're not going to pick every one of them out. I mean, unless you're going to go through and try to sift all your compost. And if you're making any decent amount of compost, you'll be sifting it for days. Yeah, I mean, technically, sure, they'd be fine in there. But when you use the compost, now you're going to be introducing harmful insects or harmful organisms into your garden. I mean, why would you want to put slugs into your garden and go, gee, I'm going to plant my cabbage, and I wonder why all my cabbage is dead, because even if you get all the snails out or all the slugs out, you don't know if you got all the eggs out, and now you're going to hatch a bunch in there. J Mac, opal apples are amazing. Actually, I've never heard of opal apples, so I'll take your word for it. Clive Camardo, follow up to my question. It has to be cat friendly. Okay. Well, you've already got the cat part. The black racer snakes are trying to get a black snake out there. That'd be cat friendly, fine. So yeah, that kind of takes the poison away. So yeah, I mean, Mrs. P's idea, the peppermint oil would probably be your best idea at that point, because it's not like peppermint's poisonous. It's just mice don't like the smell. Paprika Pauline, long story, but my soil flunked all tests. Oh, it needs to study more. What do I do? Get soil in here. Okay, I don't know what you mean by flunked all tests. I mean, if it's low nitrogen, oxygen, low nitrogen, low phosphorus, low potassium, then you need to amend your soil with, whatever it's going to take. If you did a soil test, they're going to tell you you need to add lime or you need to add calcium carbonate or whatever to your soil to bring the pH up, to bring the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium up. If it's native soil, it doesn't surprise me it failed a lot of tests. The best thing you're going to do at this point is make the crap out of compost. Okay. And I mean, again, I don't know where you live. Right? If you live in the city, that's going to be difficult. If you live in the suburbs, that's not even easy. Okay. If you live anywhere where you can make because for what you're telling me, you're going to need a lot. Okay. Anywhere you can make a large compost pile. When I say large, I'm talking 10, 12 feet across, 10, 12 feet wide, at least 3 feet high. Anything and everything, your grass clippings, your weeds, the food scraps that you have, any leaves that you can get, shredded junk mail, anything that is organic, not meat, okay? But anything that's plant-based, tree-based, or something like that, organic, goes in that compost pile, and you just need to build the crap out of the compost so you can start throwing it in your garden. You don't need to have 6 inches of compost. I mean, if you can get an inch or two in there in a year and mix it in, that's going to drastically improve your soil and make it usable. Doug Hirschberger, Pinball, can you refresh us on your height? 6'8". I've shrunk 2 inches since the Army. Machinist RJ, what is my secret to get strawberries to sprout? Buy plants. Strawberries are one of the hardest things to grow from seed. I've tried. I get little sprouts and then they die off. I know it sucks, but go to Walmart or Home Depot or wherever you buy your plants. You don't have to buy anything expensive, and buy yourself 4 or 5 plants. Stick them in the ground. I put 5 plants in 2 years ago. 5 plants that somebody sent me. One of you guys sent me. I have a full bed of strawberry. I mean, just packed bed of strawberries 2 years later, because they send out runners, they send out babies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're perennials. They come up every year and they spread like wildfire. I've tried, when we lived in Vegas, we tried growing them in those strawberry pots. That was hopeless. Okay. Strawberries are meant to grow in the ground, and just make sure you've got a dedicated place for your strawberries where they can take over everything. Don't try to put strawberries next to your tomatoes or whatever. It's not going to work. All right. Have a bed that is just for strawberries, but it's a long game plan. If you're planting strawberries now, I mean, my strawberries, I'll be harvesting my strawberries in about 4 or 5 weeks. Okay. Because I got June bearing strawberries. They come in late May around here. Okay. You get ever bearing strawberries. Okay. You might get some by the end of the year, but if you get June bearing strawberries, plant them now, forget about them. Okay. Let the rain take care of them, get them a little fertilizer, some berry tone or something like that. That'll work. Get them started and let them grow, let them set their runners out. Next year, you'll have 30, 40 plants out of the 5 you bought. And 2 years from now, you'll have 300 plants. So, Brandon Thompson, did I get any morel mushrooms this year? No, I did not. I don't think this is the climate because, yeah, we can get very humid and we get the shade, but we also get that heat and the sun, and it's the only time I see any kind of mushrooms around here is after we get one of these torrential downpours. I mean, even the, button mushrooms that you see that pop up in the yard and stuff like that, I'll maybe see those once or twice a year. I just don't think the climate immediately where I am is. Yeah, if I get out in the woods somewhere, probably better, but I'm not fighting poison ivy for mushrooms. Be thankful. Mr. P, how do I keep the deer off my trees? We get the deer question almost every week. I've had a couple of rub marks on a couple of trees where you can see that, deer's come and rubbed its antlers on it. I don't get them that often, and I can tell I don't get them that often because I don't get the deer in my gardens. Okay. Deer's probably not as worried about the tree as they are, hey, look, cabbage or corn or whatever it is. I mean, they'll get a couple of ears of corn last year. That was it. I had 2 ears of corn that were half eaten. All the chestnut trees that I have in the yard, they drop all the chestnuts in the fall. I mean, the deer probably come through in the middle of the night and eat up chestnuts. The squirrels go nuts for them. But overall, I don't, because if I have deer that come through the yard, I really don't see them. I mean, I see deer around here a few times a year. They'll run across the street or something like that, or across the backyard, forest to forest. But overall, I don't concern myself with them. They don't mess with my fruit trees. They don't mess with my gardens. I don't mess with them. We cohabitate well. RL planting 4 okra plants just for you, Pinball. Really like pickling and fermenting them. Good. Have all you want. Don't send me any. I don't want them. I won't seed save them. I won't eat them. It's like, oh, look, somebody sent me okra. There's the trash can before I get from the car to the house. Doink, gone. So, yeah, no, you will never see me eating okra. Yuck. Ann Cassius, have I ever found ginseng? I'm assuming by you saying find, meaning finding it wild. There are, at least around here, probably 3 or 4, little Tazewell, Tennessee, probably 3 or 4 different pop-up places. The guys will be out in a little trailer or something like that, selling ginseng, wild ginseng. That's crazy what they want for it. No, I don't look for it. I don't worry about it. Yeah, but I know it's around here because they pay good money for people that find ginseng. David Hall, doesn't rum cure everything? Well, Biden's still the president, so apparently not. Betty Jo Driscoll, my garden is full of wild onions. We still need to till. Will my soil be okay? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've got in one of my gardens, I still got wild raspberries that grow up, and I just pull them up. I plant, the wild raspberries come up. I pull them up. If stuff comes up, just treat it like a weed. Keep pulling it. Keep pulling it. Keep pulling. Eventually you'll kill it. Okay. Crow says he's a New Yorker. I love Macintosh apples. Hey, there's no one size fits all to life. If nobody ever ate Macintosh apples, for example, they'd probably die. Nobody'd cultivate the species or anything like that, and it'd go extinct. But people like them, so people cultivate the trees, and that's it. Pennsylvania Country Girl, Prep Rebel, I'll take all the okra I can get my hands on. You can have all of mine. Send me the beets. You guys don't like the beets. I'll eat the beets. Okay, we talked about that. Okay. Let's see. Robert Bates. Mrs. P speaks and we all listen. Me too. Keeps me out of trouble. Laura Eldridge, below the 33rd parallel in Arizona, do I recommend not planting over 100 degrees? Depends on the plant, okay? Uh, you know, think, let's take a look at Mexico, okay? Mexicans eat, okay? They grow stuff, but everywhere you are, there's going to be different things that you can plant. I mean, we lived in Vegas, and I mean, I had a grapefruit tree, and I had a lemon tree, and a lime tree, and an orange tree, and because you could grow that stuff down there. You're not going to grow apples, you're not going to grow pears, they're not near cherries, they're not going to grow there. Just like I'm not going to grow oranges here, it's not going to happen. So you got to find what is going to be possible to grow in the area. For temperatures like that, I mean, when we were in Vegas, I was able to grow tomatoes no problem, cucumbers no problem, peppers like crazy, because peppers love heat. Eggplant grows well. What didn't grow well for me there were beans and peas. But yeah, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. I think that's about all we did. We were in a 1/9 of an acre lot. So, yeah, I had a garden. That was it. But yeah, we were able to grow. Certainly couldn't grow enough to stock my pantry there, but I still grew food. But, again, like I said, think about Mexico, and what the staple foods are. Different kinds of beans. Couldn't grow green beans in Las Vegas. But have you ever seen green beans as part of a staple food in Mexico? No, it's pinto beans or something like that, because those would grow. Corn, maize, right? That'll grow. So, again, any area you've got to look at what's more. I don't want to use the term native, but conducive to the climate that you have. Lorelei, snakes eat your lizards too? Sure. Meemaw, what's the best place to find long-term water storage containers? I'm assuming you're meaning like IBC totes. That gets interesting. They're harder to find. What you need to do, look, and how we found ours is my buddy Brett found a guy on Facebook Marketplace who had a trailer load of them, and you had to reserve it. And he says, I'm going to have all these on this day, and I think they were $30 a piece that we paid for them. And reserve it. You come out, picked up your IBC tote, threw it in the back of your truck, and you left. That was it. It's not like this is not something that you're going to go to the store and buy. IBC totes are usually, don't quote me on all the time, okay, are sold from places that, we needed to transfer a bunch of, pick something, vegetable oil or, something from one place to another, and okay, there were one-use deals. So then you get it, and you'll go through a bottle of Dawn dishwashing soap, trying to clean the thing out, get all the oil out of it, and now you have a container, and you go from there with it. So, but yeah, you're gonna have to look at. Best place I could say look for those is on Facebook Marketplace, or something, next door or something like that. Look there, because you're gonna find somebody that's gonna have a couple of dozen of them, and they're going to sell it, and they'll be gone like that. Okay? Those are a hot commodity anytime somebody's selling them. Papa Prepper, is the tongue and groove something you put up, or was it already there when we bought the house? Yes and no. In the house, yes, this was all done when we bought the house. The garage, Mrs. P and I did it all. We did everything, the two of us. That was it. For a month, we were up there 8 boards a day. Seal them, let them dry. The next day, we'd go put up 8 boards, seal them. The next day, go put up 8 boards. Yeah, No, Mrs. P and I put up all the tongue and groove, ceiling, walls, everything like that in the garage. But no, the house was built in 2011, and we bought the house in 2019. So, East Tex Press prepping. Crawfish are ruining my land. No one seems to how to get rid of them. Any ideas? Not something we have in Tennessee, and I've never lived. I mean, down that far south in Texas, Louisiana, anything like that. I mean, when I lived in Texas, it was in El Paso, not a whole lot of crawfish there, and then in the DFW area when I went to school up at UNT in Denton. So, yeah, I can't help you on the crawfish problem. Let's see. Rena LaRue, straight peppermint oil or watered down for mice. I sprayed the engine compartment of my truck with straight peppermint oil. So I wouldn't water it down. All you're doing is diluting it. I mean, it's not like it's a spray it once and it's good forever. I mean, you spray it and then if it gets wet, it washes away. So if you're spraying it under the house or something, you're good. Spray it in your engine compartment, it's okay until you couple of rains and driving and spraying up all that road wash on the underside of your car, you got to do it again. Pennsylvania Country Girl, love Mrs. P. Congrats on the good blood work. Thank you. Sunset, pinball, no mouse poison. Cats can eat the mouse and ingest the poison. Okay, and then he didn't mention at the first comment that he had a cat. So just saying. Caveman, look, just spent $300 to fix a rodent eating my fuel line. Welcome to the party. Broken Dolly, if I have any cedar trees close to my apple trees, they will not produce well. I know this from experience. I've never heard that. Okay. And I've got, well, it depends on what kind of cedar. I've got cedar trees in the area, now depending on how close they are. But, are you talking about, a Western red cedar or something like that? I mean, there's different types of cedar trees too. So, but good point. I did not know that. Okay, a couple other comments. Patricia Smith, there's another good idea. Get an owl house. Mice might be gone. Mice be gone, owl. There you go. It's a good idea. Give an owl somewhere to hunt and he'll hunt it. Nair B80, recommendation for freezer alarm, temperature or power activated alarm, backup battery for the freezer. Okay, let me see if I can find this. I bought them. Let's see if I can find it. You're going to have to give me a second. I bought them on Amazon, so if I can find what I bought, I will tell you exactly what it is. So bear with me. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. And I will put the link up. Hang on, let me get there. Okay, give me a second. Oops. Okay. Freezer alarm. Paste. Send. Okay, so I just posted the link to the alarm that I bought for my freezer. All right. It's $28 for the alarm. It's a power outage alarm. So, and this happened to us, I think I was telling you guys about 3 weeks ago. It was about midnight. And all of a sudden there's this beep, 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 beep that woke up me and Mrs. P. And, as soon as we woke up, I knew exactly what it was. I had the alarm on my freezers. And as soon as we heard the alarm, it was like, okay, power's out. And so real simple, I ran downstairs and I flipped everything because I leave my phone downstairs. I don't take my phone to bed. Okay. I'm one of those people, I don't want my phone around me when I'm trying to sleep. I'm not there like this before I go to bed. So turned on the solar power backup, got everything running, went back to bed. And in the morning, the power was back on, but that alarm basically told me the power went out in the middle of the night. I was able to kick my freezers on, my refrigerator on, didn't worry about anything, went back to sleep. And I know you go $28. It's expensive for an alarm. Well, how much would it cost you to put all the food in the freezer? That's my question. Again, insurance, which is kind of the way we prep in the first place. It's life insurance. RLRL, flex pipe connected to a downspout from a gutter drain. I have no idea what the context of what you're talking about is. If it has anything to do with my pond, there's a problem with that. My pond is on higher ground than my house is. And no, the pond can't flood and go to my house. The pond is an acre over from my house, but I live on the side of a mountain. The pond is on the left side of my property. My house is on the right side of my property. Neither the two shall meet. Infinitely blessed. I've heard mothballs work too. Yeah, mothballs are not a bad idea. I know I throw mothballs in the attic of my garage. Keeps bugs away. The downside is y'all know what mothballs smell like, and then all of a sudden, you want to use mothballs in the house, and your whole house smells like mothballs. And to me, that is a sickening smell. So peppermint oil doesn't make me sick. Mothballs, disgusting. Michelle M, how long do you direct sow seeds before planting? Overnight's fine. If you're going to plant on Saturday morning, throw them in a cup of water Friday night before you go to bed. Obviously it's way too late to plant peas at this point. I mean, unless you live in Montana or something, maybe you're planting peas now. But, take a pea seed that, old shriveled, dried up, looks like Nancy Pelosi, throw it in a bucket of water, a cup of water overnight, and it'll wake up in the morning, it'll look like Sydney Sweeney. So you'd be all set. But yeah, no, overnight's fine. Sorry for the graphic detail there. I didn't mean to make anybody think of Nancy Pelosi, but it was the best way I could describe it. Deb 313, can I transplant my strawberries while they have blooms and a few developing berries? I want to put them in a baby pool for more room to spread. I would not take off the mother plant, the one that is producing the berries. If you've got any runners that have come out, yes, I would, but no, while they're producing, I would not mess with them whatsoever. If you've got June bearing strawberries, wait a month or so, you're going to have picked all your strawberries, then you're fine to do it. So, but yeah, don't mess with the plants when they're in the middle of fruiting. Original one shot, one kill. Pinball, do you fillet your bluegill and pan fry? I prefer crappie, but bluegill almost as good. I love crappie too. It's just, when we're in Indiana, we call them paper mouth. I always love the people call them crappie. No, crappie. But again, it's like bluegill. It's like, there's shell crackers or red ears or, brim or, a million names for the same fish. Pumpkin seed. Like I was saying before, on frying them up. Oh yeah, absolutely. Fillet them, throw them in a pan of oil, fry them up. A little bit of caraway seed, greatest fish you're gonna have. Bluegill. I love crappie as well. The only thing, like I said, paper mouth. The problem with crappie is they're a little harder because you'll tear your mouth, every time. So, but the crappie fishing here will be very good very soon because I can go right off the boat launch or boat slips or whatever you want to call it there, and we just drop fish for them right there. And I was out there, just using these little chartreuse grubs. Was it last spring? And I was just like, one guy just, those little fishing poles like this long, was it a pocket fisherman or something like that? And he's just there, and he drop it in, go down about 8 feet, poop, pull up. He was pulling up 8, 9, 10, 12-inch crappie. He's pulling a big fish. It's like, he's there for an hour, probably got about 6 fish. Like, yeah, he knew what he was doing. Tony DG 9410. Anyone know how to dehydrate a sourdough starter? Mrs. Mountaintop Preps, where are you? There's the person to answer. That she will have the answer. I guarantee it. That would be a question for her, because I think she just went to a class on something about sourdough starting too. Prep Rebel, silly question, but I know it's your pond, but can the conservation officers give me a hassle for fishing in my own pond? I am just curious. In Tennessee, no. Okay. You do not have to have a fishing license to fish on private property here, provided you own the property. Now, obviously, there's gray areas in every law. Okay. Does that mean that my neighbor could come over here and would need a fishing license to fish in my pond? I don't think so. Okay. If I gave him permission. Now, if somebody's out fishing in my pond without my permission, they don't have to worry about a conservation officer. They just better know how to dance. Because no, you're not stealing my food. But as for what I know, and I checked this when I made the pond, I do not need to have any sort of fishing license to fish in my pond. So I got a fishing license to fish in a lake, so it's not like I don't have one. Rock, just rock. Okay. Is there an apple tree that will survive massive weather swings? The Mississippi Tennessee line. Okay, so you're down probably by Chattanooga or somewhere around there. Or no, you're further east or further west. I'm sorry. I can't give you an answer to that because I've never lived there. My suggestion would be go to a nursery, not Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart or something. Go to a nursery and ask them, what apple trees are suitable for our climate. And, they'll tell, chances are it's the ones they're selling, it's like I go to the store here, I'm not going to find orange trees. They're not going to sell them up here because you can't grow them up here. So, but but don't think that Home Depot or Lowe's or anybody like that one. I mean, I go into Home Depot here and they'll sell plants that you see right on the tag, grows in zones 9 to 11. Oh, great. I'm in zone 7. So why the hell are you selling this here? And they're like, well, there's stupid enough people that'll buy it. So I say, go to a nursery. Barbara Kramer, my husband and I love to fish for panfish, bluegill, sunfish, perch, but I like catfish the most. Catfish. I actually finished second place in a catfishing tournament in Illinois one time. But yeah, it was, catfish are fun, but when you catch them, it's just like you're reeling in a sack of potatoes. Catfish are the corgis of the fishing world. Lazy. So, original one shot, one kill. Do I use beetle spins or bait? For bluegill, I usually use bait. Either use bee moths or pieces of nightcrawler. Around here, I mean, all I gotta do is go out my compost pile. I can find all the freaking worms I want. So, I'm assuming that's Polar Bear 98. Are bluegill a light tasting fish like freshwater perch? I don't like fishy fish like salmon. Yes, they are absolutely a white fish. Yes, though, when you're talking about similar to perch, yes, same flavor profile. Tastes a little different, but same, that light, to use your term, that light flavor, yes. Nothing like salmon, though I love salmon. Bloodhound Jed 1. I understand Opus's Facebook page had a code to get it for $125. Hey, if you got that code, email it to me and I will post it up there because, hey, if it's $7 cheaper than what they're telling me we can get it, more power to, like I said, every buck matters these days. Robert Bates carried groceries in one hand, but look how big his hand is. Okay. Pennsylvania Mama Bear. How do I store my dehydrated fish? In Mrs. P's belly. She's shaking her head. Yes, yeah. When we dehydrate fish, they don't last long around here. Uh, it's like every time we go to the Russian grocery store, one of the big things for her to get is a mackerel, whole fish, and boiled potatoes and sliced raw onion and a beer. And I mean, that's like heaven for her. And she introduced this to me. I'm like, oh my God, this is good. But you got to like fish. So you're eating, just what are they, pickle it? The mackerel? Smoke it. Okay, smoked mackerel. There we go. Eden Acre Journey, Miles gear. Boy, there's something. I don't even think the military uses miles anymore. I mean, miles was what we used back in the 80s. I mean, you're better off going out and getting an airsoft stuff and training with that. That'd be better. Mountain Goat AP has the code. Alaska Prepper has the code. Okay, good deal. If Rudy's got it, go get it there. I'm still trying to get a hold of her. So, but if you guys find it somewhere else, get it there. Jay Myers, MEPS spinning baits in need of squirrel tails, $1 a tail. Well, if Daffy ever catches one, I know where we get $1. We can get $1. Anybody got their reimbursement from Walmart via direct deposit or prepaid MasterCard yet? I don't believe that. I think everybody had until the end of June or something like that, June or July, to file for it. So, and then the settlement still has to be signed off by the court. So you might see that by Christmas. Don't count on that anytime soon. Crow, best fish, Long Island blowfish, saltwater. Well, I'm going to need one hell of a rod and reel to cast into the ocean from here. So don't see me catching any saltwater fish around here anytime soon. Not that I won't say I love deep sea fishing, so that's fun, but that's also expensive. And unless you live in the ocean, live on the ocean or somewhere nearby, I can't there's no pier for me to go to around here to go catch something. Guys in Florida, it's like, okay, we're just going down there, catch, got on clear waters and stuff like that. They see the fish. So not so lucky here. We shot to the bottom, so I gotta find out where we're. Oh crap, it's 9:02. Holy crap. Well, that tells you we're going long. All right. Well, sorry about that. I didn't even look at the clock and I'm already into Jason's time. So my apologies, but guys, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Pinball out. That was just going